Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
The days are short, the nights are long, and it's cold. Canadian winters are pretty brutal, Dr. Shabir.
Yeah.
And many people experience winter blues. You know, they feel kind of sad, they feel down, they want to sleep. And especially with COVID, Dr. Shabir, you know, many people's routines are disrupted, so there's not that much to do during the winter. So I guess it's not surprising that many people feel sad. So Dr. Shabir, I wanted to get your thoughts on what Islam can offer us in terms of dealing with winter blues. I mean, we can talk about, you know, the medical aspect and the psychological aspect, but maybe Islam has something to offer to somebody who's experiencing winter blues right now.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot in the Islamic faith, actually, that helps us to reflect on this and to understand it and to make the best of it. There is a short surah of the Quran that mentions the benefits that God has given to the people of Quraysh in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And among the benefits, this surah mentions رحلة الشتاء والصيف, the fact that they are able to travel for their trade during the seasons of winter and summer. The commentators say that this means that or this is referring to the fact that the Quraysh people used to trade towards the south in the winter months, and then they would go towards the north in the summer months. So it makes sense. Summertime, it's hot. They would prefer to go north, like trade with the people of Syria. And in the wintertime, rather than go north where it's going to be colder, they go south to Yemen where it's going to be warmer. So, you know, that reflects also something about life in Canada. You know, we tend to remain in Canada during the warm months, and then there are snowbirds who go down south,
to
whether
Florida.
it be to Florida or some other warmer climate.
Just like the birds.
Yeah, exactly.
They shift the location.
Like the birds, exactly. So, you know, there are benefits in the way that God has created this system, and we need to understand that system and understand the reason why things are happening the way they do. Because if you know, the winter is coming, it's cold, and if you just curse the weather, and then you feel bitter inside, something is wrong, and it's affecting you because of your attitude towards what's going on. So it helps to develop a healthy attitude towards what is around you, and that comes with understanding. So if we understand that, you know, God did it this way for God's good reasons, and it's for benefit to human beings. You know, you can well imagine, like, what gives us the four seasons? It's the fact that the Earth is on a tilted axis. So if the Earth's axis was not tilted, then, you know, when we talk about the axis, we're not talking about a real pole, right, that holds up the globe. We're talking about, you know, an imaginary
yes.
axis. So, you know, but if that axis was not tilted, as it is, then the sun would be beaming towards, you know, the center of the Earth all of the time. And the tropics would be extremely hot. And the poles would be extremely cold. I mean, they're already extremely hot and cold, but we're talking about more extreme than the present extremes. And life as we know it on our planet would not be the same, because the caps would be freezing over, and like the poles would be freezing over, and the tropics would be intensely hot. So God has given us this balance so that there is some relief. There is, you know, the hot season and the cold season, and it just helps life to proliferate on Earth.
So the seasons then are a form of miracle from God, I would say.
Exactly. It's what makes the Earth habitable in the first place. So we should appreciate that. So though winter can be harsh in Canada, we should understand that there is a good reason for this, and we should appreciate it the best we can. Now, sticking with the Islamic tradition, which is what your question was about, there is a hadith that's mentioned in a book called Majma' al-Zawaid. It's a collection of hadith, a secondary collection that gathers narratives from other earlier books of hadith. And here it is mentioned that the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that winter is a boon for the believers. And why? The hadith explains that the days are short, so if you want to fast and get the blessings of fasting the day, then, you know, it's a short fast.
It's not a long
right?
fast day,
Yeah.
yes.
And the nights are long, so you have a longer time at night to pray, and the prayer at night is especially prized among Muslims, because we believe that that's the time when our prayers are more likely to be answered, because you're sacrificing your sleep. But of course, because the night is so long, you're not sacrificing much of sleep, because you still have a lot of sleep time left during the night. Now, one can analyze this hadith in a different way and say, well, okay, but if the days were longer and you were fasting and the day was hot and so on, then you would get more reward for your fast. But let's not go there. Let's stick with appreciating the winter. And this hadith gives us a perspective from which we could appreciate the winter.
Yeah, it shows us that enjoy what season you're in, even
That's
if
right.
there are disadvantages, but there are maybe a lot of advantages that you might not even be aware of or be thinking of. Yeah,
that's right. So thinking about advantages, while we're sometimes cooped up at home because of the harsh weather outside, this can give us more of a chance to get closer to our family members, to get to know each other better, to spend more time with each other, to play something like, board games and so on that will keep us. You can even have a ping pong table if your home is large enough, or get a smaller ping pong table, something that will keep you active while playing at home as well. Play Twister with the rest of your family members. There's so many different things that you can do at home. Get some exercise equipment and make it a routine that you're exercising. So that gives you something to do. It's when people are sitting around, they have nothing to do, that they start getting, feeling bored, feeling depressed and all of that. But if they have a schedule of things to do, then that keeps their mind preoccupied and keeps them, their physical activities, then keeps them physically fit as well. And then when it comes to, the religious aspect, we have a wonderful time during the winter season to spend more time with the Quran, to memorize, to learn, to study, to read books on Islamic history and theology, and get a better understanding. While we are still in the pandemic situation, I still remember the clever saying of one of the imams in the Greater Toronto area. He said that quarantine is Quran time. he
switch the letters around.
Exactly. So, we have a chance in the winter, because we're not going out that much, to spend more time with the Book of God and to get closer to God and to the Islamic faith.
And one of the beautiful things, Dr. Shabir, is that we know seasons change. So there are 4 seasons, and, the winter, even though it's pretty long, it's going to come to an end at some point, and spring will be here again.
Exactly. So keep, we have something to look forward to. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And there's no reason why anyone needs to be overcome by winter blues.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe. And please donate to support our work at QuranSpeaks.com.